Your color lens, not only is it helpful for you to learn for various reasons, which we'll go over, but it's also really helpful for your upline to know and myself to know, because it helps us figure out how to interact with you guys and kind of more, not even interact with you guys, but kind of gauge what your thinking is like, because we all have our own little like quirks and our unique things about us, and a lot of it has to do with the 4 lenses. Okay, so let's first begin. Let me screen share my comment. Okay, can everyone see that? Give me the thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, perfect. So we're talking about the 4 lenses, and I need to move this so I can see my screen there much better. Okay, so LuLaRoe talks a lot about the 4 lenses, and they do everything based off of this book. Oh, I need to see this too. I'm struggling. I'm sorry, y'all. So they go off the books, The 4 Lenses Unfolded, and it really goes through even talking about how the different colors sell, how the different colors interact with people, how the different colors are led, how they lead, how they are as customers. So it's a great book to have if this is something that interests you and you start learning on, saying you're like, oh, that's really unique. You can get off Amazon, but do not get off Amazon. It's like $80. Get it directly off the shipleycommunication.com, and it's like $20. That's the publisher, and it's a great book. It's a great read to really get to know about yourself and other people. So the 4 lenses is all about yourself, and they don't do it based off of the golden rule, which is do unto others as you want done unto you. They use it based off of the platinum rule, and the platinum rule is do unto others as they want to be treated. As they want to be treated. So we're going to try to, we're kind of switching the mind shift from you to them. And that's really where we are sitting, where LuLaRoe takes a stance. They take the stance as you want to have this outward mindset. You want to be focused on the other person and not necessarily as yourself, whether you are acting as the retailer or whether you are acting as a leader here. So our goal for tonight is really so you can know your lens so you can better serve. Serving others, serving your team, whoever it might be. Okay, I gotta get my screen. So hopefully, did you guys all do this? I can't see everyone, so hopefully you guys did. But hopefully you guys printed this little survey out. I sent it out on Sunday, and hopefully you were able to go through it and figure out exactly what your colors were. Even if you already, unless you've done this, even if you've already done a color lens, I ask that you take this survey, because this survey might be a tad bit different from others. Some colors have like yellows. I've seen one that has red, but the 4 lenses unfolded that LuLaRoe talks about a lot. So whether you're at convention or on the home office calls or the training calls, whatever it might be, they focus on orange, blue, green, and gold. So that's what we're going to look at tonight. And this chart allows you to see exactly what your secondary and what your primary are. Now, there might be a few of you that are across the board, like we're talking like 12, 12, 12, 12, or whatever the magic number is, 25, 25, 25, 25. But most people have a very dominant color, and then they might have a close secondary, or even farther apart. So when we go through this, in general, oh, I didn't know I had these things on. Here's what the world is. If you are looking at what are the majority of people in the world, this is what lens they fall under. 44 go under gold, which focuses on structure, which we'll talk about it in a second. 40% will go on orange, 10% blue, and 6% green. And if you, I am gold and orange, so I'm like as normal as they come by when it comes, or not normal, but as high as they come by. I'm in that majority up there. So let's first focus on, if you know your colors, if you know anything about the colors, what color is this? Can anyone figure out?
Wait.
Go for it, Gina. If you guys are going to have to unmute because I can't see everyone.
Oh, gold.
Gold. Okay, so the reason that this represents gold is you can kind of just looking at this, and they're extremely organized. So if you're looking in that bottom left-hand picture of the closet, it's that perfectly organized. They value traditions, and that's kind of where the wedding dress and that typical white dress type mentality is. They're very disciplined. they're extremely detailed oriented. So if you're looking at the plans in like the architect plans, they like lists, they like stability, they like schedules. If you know a gold, the number one way of knowing a gold is based off they are rule followers and they love schedules and they love lists. Those are the main things. They don't like surprises. If they're given a task at work at home, they want to know what's the end goal, what am I trying to achieve? And they are going to figure out beforehand what are the steps to achieve this. And with this, the best way to motivate a goal is by give them a list. And I'll tell you with this, it's kind of funny because I am a straight gold and orange. I'm more orange than I am anything, but I'm an orange gold. But when it comes to my business, and this is one thing I bring up because when it comes to my business, I'm hardcore goals. I'm a list person. I have that planner every day. Like you can even see, I have an assistant, and every day I have a like little list for her. Like, okay, this is what we're trying to achieve during the day. She even knows me so well that she even has the list back to me, so I know exactly where, what to expect, what she's done, if there's anything that I need to finish. But when it comes to my life, I'm as orange comes. If you look at my desk in my classroom and here, it's always neatly organized perfectly. If you go upstairs in my house, woo, mayhem. It is like completely polar opposite. And gold and orange are really polar opposite. But when we're talking about these color lenses, you really have to know that you don't have to be just one, and different parts of your life are you might be green here, you might be blue here, and around different people, you might be different things. My husband is very, very green in general. He's a hardcore green, but with me, by far, he's as blue gets. So it depends on where you're focused on or what your focus is on, being what color you are. But usually most people have very dominant. So like my husband, he just has that green and blue, whereas like I have that orange and the gold. So when you're thinking of the orange or the golds, hopefully you guys have read all these. And so I don't want to read all of them, but kind of focus more on the bottom, kind of what we were just saying here. You're very punctual, you're practical. You're not one that's going to spend like a crazy amount of, you're not going to spend money frivolously. You are practical with things. You are aware of, you're very aware of what you have and what you need versus what you want. Organized, stable, you're thorough, you're very dependable. You're going to follow through on things. If you say you're going to do something, you're going to do something. Those oranges, you got to be careful about, because sometimes that's just something that you have to appreciate. So I am sitting on a call. I'm doing a coaches 10 focus focus 10 group with Jordan Brady, Deanne's son. And every day for 10 days, I meet with him for an hour, and then I do homework and stuff like that. And then we meet back the next day. And we kind of make the joke, he's very orange. And one thing that I've really learned is never apologize. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to go over this. Never apologize for the color that you are, because we are all so unique, and our colors are what makes us all unique, but it's also what can help or hinder us for having successful relationships and successful businesses. If we say, oh, I'm a certain color, so I can't do this, or I'm a certain color, so there's no way, that's just not up my alley, or I'm not in my comfort zone, or whatever it might be. But a lot of us, the goal is so you are not using your colors as an excuse to not be able to do something. If someone, well, I'll go through that when I get to orange in a second. So they're hardworking, they're solid, they're orderly, they're very consistent. A gold leader will never miss a meeting. A gold leader will never cancel a meeting. So even for this, like my daughter has the flu. 5 minutes before I came on, the reason I didn't check or I did not have Zoom up, my daughter just puked on my husband and I. Good times in the home and household. So, but as my crazy, obnoxious golds, when it comes to business, you're never going to see me cancel a meeting. If I'm like here, like sicker than a dog, unless I was throwing up, that's the only way I'm canceling a meeting, because it's that consistency that people like to see. It's the structure. And I think that's why, like some people with regards to like the team, when it comes to the team multi, all that changing kills a gold, because the gold's going, whoa, settle down. I need structure. I need to know exactly what it is, what we're doing, what are the rules, how am I supposed to do my screen post, where am I supposed to put my screen post? Whereas the orange is like, whatever, I'm good. We'll figure it out while we go. Or the blue, the blue is not having as many issues when it comes to that, but the gold is struggling hardcore with change after change after change because they like that structure. But the gold is also positive. They are focusing on what they have and what they can, what their resources are to find the solution that they're needing. Okay. So your next color, going back to the gold. So you can kind of read these. And I will put this on the team page so you are able to read through all these if you haven't read them yet. And then you are able to figure out your color. And you might be able to differentiate immediately. You'll hear the company, or if you go at convention, they had these on the tables. What you're reading right now are little cards, and they kind of give you the cards. And they'll even say, which one are you like? And you kind of have to go from there. You have to pick exactly which one you are. So read through these, and you'll be able to, differentiate almost immediately which you like or which one is more like you. So I'm trying to think, was there anything up there that we did not say? No. Desires punctuality. They like on time. Like the fact that I started this 5 minutes late was killing me. Absolutely killing me. Time is money. I want it started, and I want, to give you guys the most bang for your buck. And so waiting 5 minutes, that's a hard thing. So that's your gold. Is there anyone that is a gold that and you took it and you're a gold?
Not dominant, but it was
Okay.
a lot. It was.
I'm like scrolling through.
It was
50-50,
my gold and my blue were like almost the same, and we know what my dominant was, but my gold and my blue were both like 24, 25.
Okay.
Yeah, me, I'm gold. I had 32 blue and then 31 for gold and orange.
Okay, so hold on. I want to
44 for orange, but
So Susan, you said you were what?
32 blue and then 31 for yellow and gold. Or I'm sorry, gold and orange. Sorry.
Okay. Kina, you're gold, correct? Cheryl, hold on, I need to scroll. Cheryl, you said you were gold. Okay, and Gina, you're flaming orange.
yes.
Sorry, Amy, I was muted. Yes, I'm gold.
Okay, I can only see 4 people, so I'm like scrolling back and forth of people.
That was Tina.
Sarah P., what were you? Did you have your hand for gold?
Yeah, I'm 50-50 gold and blue.
Oh, I totally can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. For those of you that have never done this, you really start looking at people and you're like, "Ooh, you're that." Ooh, or you were that.
Am I the only flaming orange here?
Yeah, it's really crazy how it's so obvious what some people are. It's amazing. Okay, so now let's go to the next color. What is this?
Orange.
This is straight orange. Orange is someone, so this is the next highest, this is the next highest. So you're looking at 44% of the population. With this is something that is completely polar opposite to gold. Gold wants the rules and the structure, whereas orange is like, I need that freedom. I need the creativity. I want, they're the crazy, outgoing, like fun-loving people. They don't want to be held down. If you give them a project, they don't need it listed out like this is how you're going to do it. It's going to be, go do it. But if you tell an orange, go do it, they're going to look at you, or gold, and they're going to look at you and go, well, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to do it? Where a gold is like, nope, don't tie me down. Let me be free. Let me do it the way you want. So they don't, gold or oranges don't want a schedule. Everything else can go by the wayside. They'll figure it out while they go. And it's not saying that they cannot do the things a gold can do, but they want the freedom to do it the way they want to do it. And so if you're dealing with maybe a sponsor or a customer or your husband or your boyfriend or whoever it might be who is different, you're orange and they are gold, they're going to look at you like you are an absolute freak and like, are you kidding me? And you're going to do this. And that's one thing that we learn this, and that they are really teaching this to coaches and mentors, that this is something that you have to learn to work with your team. But I feel like it has to be for everyone. Everyone needs to learn this, because if I am a flaming orange and you're green, you and I, unless we know each other and understand each other, we're not going to have a good communication, because the green is going to look at me going, she ain't got no facts. I'm not listening to this woman. She needs actual evidence until I can respect her and, appreciate her. So then maybe if I'm coming to a meeting or whatever it might be, I'm coming to you with facts, and then right away, okay, we're on the same page and we can go from there. Because every single person can interact with each other, but you have to change the way you interact. So you just have to kind of it's your perspective. It's the mind frame, the mindset that you have going into conversations. Or maybe you have a customer that is as blue gets and you are as green gets. And how is that going to happen? Because you're very factual, and a blue's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I need personal thing. So, which I'm getting ahead of the fact. It's my squirrel. There's my blue in you. Blue in me. I'm going from the thing. So with orange, if you're looking at here, you're looking at that freedom, that exploration. You are looking at the adventure, the fun, okay, the craziness. And if you're looking at the back of the charts that are the little cards, you can see up here, they're bold, they're generous. These oranges think outside the box. They might have these crazy ideas, and especially when it comes to selling, they might have these absolutely amazing ideas, and they're not going to do the typical things, and you're going to be like, whoa. So these are the retailers that you want to follow, because they might have something that's unique, and in this business, it's great to find something that's unique, that's your own, that you can do. So, that not everyone else is doing. So if you can find a orange retailer, you know who they are. You know that they're they're the ones trying something new that maybe no one's ever tried before. But they're also oranges. You got to be careful too, because oranges are the ones that are very spontaneous. So they are the ones that might have a huge success or a huge failure, because what they're trying is brand spanking new and it's never been done before. So it might be amazing, or they could crash and burn. But a lot of times the orange is okay with that crashing and burning, because they're willing to try that new thing. It's not about being safe. It's about being that risk taker. So they're the wild, fun, persuasive. They're the ones that can get you to do things when you're like, no, I'm not doing that. And you're like, yeah, you are. So the orange are a way to kind of get you to be that whole craziness. They're very bold in their relationships, but they're also very generous. So if you're an orange, you've got to be careful about being taken advantage of, because you are so generous that you're willing to say yes, yes, yes. You're willing to help other people. And a lot of times there's a chance that you are willing to, you help people so much that you put yourself to the side a lot of times. So there are times in this business, it is such a time-consuming business, you've got to be careful about how much you give to people I don't want to say without getting anything in return, because I'm a firm believer that the more you give, the more you're going to get. And that's something that Deanne has taught us from day one. The more you give, the more you're going to get. So, but you just have to, when like a customer is taking advantage of you. I think that's one thing that when we're talking about colors and lenses, why it's so important for you to know it is, if you know that you're an orange, if you know that you're a giver and you're generous, and you have the same person 15 times coming to you saying, I know I didn't get this from you, but can I trade it? Can I trade out? They're like using you as their own local target. That's something that if you know that you are an orange, maybe you can sit down and say, okay, well, this is my personality, yes, but what can I do? How can I say no? How can I say no in a way that I'm not, hurting my business, but I'm doing what's best for my business. And, when it comes to being generous and stuff like that. Let me see if I missed anything on here. They thrive on crisis, which is just an interesting one always for me, because I always say I'm the best when I'm in crisis mode for whatever the reason. And I am predominantly this, even though and you have to know that you're not always this. I'm an introvert. Most people do not know that unless you know me really well. I'm your introvert, extrovert. So if I'm very comfortable with you, I could definitely be the center of the party. But if I walk into a room of new people, I'm not the center of attention. I like kind of go over where my comfort zone is. I go to what I always call my security blankets. I always laugh at Kina when Kina comes on. I've said to Kina a billion one times that she's my security blanket at like conventions and stuff. She's like my warm blanket that I just want to like snuggle up next to, because I have that fear or that that introvert of me, you know, and having her, she always makes me feel safe. So orange you don't have to be you don't have to check every single one of these off, and you're not going to check every single one of these off. There's going to be some things that are very prominent about you. Okay. What is this? Oh, hold on. Who's, hold on, I need to scan. Who is orange? So we know Gina's orange. Okay, Avery's orange. Okay, Connie's orange. Am I missing anyone? I can't remember. I'm like trying to scroll down.
So if they're all like super close, what are you?
Oh, there's a word for it. Oh,
amazing.
You are a phenomenal woman. Yes. Susan, I will check on that. There is a word for it, because in my coaches group, there's 11 of us, well, 10 of us, and 2 of them are dead even. And Jordan had
2 of mine are like, look, where's my camera? Like, look at that. That's like not exciting.
Hold on. Hey, quick question. What's the name of a person who is even through all the 4 lens colors?
I mean, so I guess my question is, am I just blue because that's 32? And then
no, if you're pretty much, there's a word for it. I just texted Jordan. Let me see if he answers. He's usually on the ball, and it's still 5:30, so I can still consider that. I still consider that on time when it comes, or business hours on the West Coast. But there's a word for it where it depends on the situation. You're kind of like that chameleon. You like go in for whatever the situation. So if you're talking to someone who's extremely blue, you might pull in the blue. If you are talking to someone wild, crazy orange, that might pull in. You might pull in that orange. So there's a specific word for it.
When people say, "Oh my God, why does everyone spill their guts to you? Why does everyone like tell you anything you want to hear?" That's why.
Yes. Okay, he's writing, so let's see if he answers back. But yes, so hopefully I'll have a thing. No. Justin Lyon is, hold the actual name of that person. What am I trying to add? The actual name.
You go ahead. I'll Google it. I'll see what I can find out.
The word for it, like what's the word for somebody who
Thank you.
Even in all 4 areas? What's the
divergent? Word? Okay, you're a divergent.
There you go.
All right.
Sorry, that me and my squirrel moment. Orange, hello.
I was gonna say, get out of your deer roaming in the woods.
I know. Okay, so divergent. You are a divergent. So if there's anyone else in that like area split around, and if it's like 31 across or 31, 32, you're a divergent. So yeah, you're that chameleon that when it comes to people. So perfect. But yeah, so Justin is that way. Amelia's son, Amelia's husband, he is one of the divergents, and that was one of the things that we were talking about. Okay, so what is this? Who is this?
Green.
What color? Green. Good. So the next highest percentage of people is this green, and this is just about 10%. These people are what I consider very unique because they value competence. They value people who say what they mean. They can back up what they do. They're not just there's no BS to them. They know what they're saying. They're looking for numbers. They're looking for science. They want analysis. They don't want, well, maybe, or my opinion. No. Where's the analysis? Show me the numbers. And so, and then when they see something running, they want to know, why is it running? They're the whys. Well, why? Why does that work? Why does that not work? They are, without a doubt, they're your whys. They're always thinking of ways to improve the process, which this is fantastic to have on a team, because you kind of want to have that like healthy team. And that's why I was kind of asking, well, you don't have to have it. One of the girls, she has all blues. And I said, oh my gosh, that has to be insane to have all blues, just because you're all emotional, where this way you kind of have a little of everything. But so these people ask a lot of questions. They might look at a green person, or a gold person might look at a green person and think, why are you questioning me? Just because green or gold have that, I know it and I can do it, but I don't have to tell you why. Whereas the green is actually, no, you need to tell me why. So define it. So if you have a sponsor, if you have a customer that's like, well, what's happening here? And they keep asking, well, why? Well, why are there holes? What's going on? And that's a question that someone might ask. This is my second pair. What's going on? A green person might say, or might need you to go through the brushing process and say it is a softer fabric. When they brush it, they are literally brushing, and that makes them very soft, but it also makes them prone to holes. And LuLaRoe, Patrick is coming up with different fabrics to try that. Maybe the different fabrics will be more sustainable, more tougher. Because what they used to have versus what now, it's different. So greens are extremely intelligent people. They are very methodical. They're very mechanical. They can easily become offended if you don't trust their opinion, if you don't trust the data that they have, or the way they're looking at things. They can be extremely offended. So if you're looking at this, they're very cool. They're very calm. They're very collective. If you've ever met my husband, oh my goodness, he's as green comes. These types of people think before they speak. Whereas green or orange, we just kind of fly out at the mouth. Green really stops to think, okay, what is it I'm trying to say? What is it that this person wants me what are they looking for? Okay. They don't think with their heart first. It's all about logic. Okay. So a lot of men are green, but obviously only 10% are. So they are inventive. I already said they're fact oriented. They're independent because they know that if they're doing it, it's going to be done the way they want it done. Okay. So if you look at this, sometimes they're detached. They believe that work is play. It's fun for them to look up facts. If my husband didn't teach math, he talked about being a researcher. And I was like, what? How boring would that be? But he would be by himself. He would be in his head. It'd be entertainment for him, which me, I want to be with people. Even if I'm an introvert, I still want to be with people. So, but they're also very curious. These greens are very curious. So if you are looking, there's even ways of, if you are trying to like reach a green, or if you're trying to get a hold of a green, maybe your sponsors are green. You're like, I just don't know how to reach this person because I'm as orange as they come. Give them ideas, give them a thing to look up. Like a green person wants to be able to be a fact checker. They want to be able to make a decision or find an answer for you. Whereas if you're asking me a specific question for something, I can't even think of a question right off. As an orange, I'd be like, I don't know. Let me take a guess. I would start, rather than going for a specific fact, I say, okay, well, based off what I know, this is what I know. Okay, so this is what I know. Are there questions up there and I'm missing them? Are you, I see the questions. Oh, sorry, I'll come back to this. Oh, yes, thank you. Then good, I have that. Sorry, I just saw all that up there. Crap. Did I go to green? Yeah. So I'll go back to those thingy-majiggies. Okay, so who's our greens? Okay, Leah. Oh, I can totally see Leah's a math teacher. There's something about those math teachers and being green. They like those numbers. So is Leah the only one on here green? And I know there's a bunch of people I can't see. Okay. So let me pop it back up here so I can see it here. Okay, and then the last one is going to be what? It's the warm, cuddly love bugs. They're the ones, look at these pictures. They're the ones that, like when you first look at these pictures, what's the word you think of? Oh, I saw a couple of y'all do it. Oh, how cute. So these are only 6% of the population. Okay, this is the only 6% of the population. And these are the ones that want you to think about emotion. It's based off of emotion. They thrive on relationships. If you don't give them this, you're not going to have that connection. Blues want the emotions. They just want to love. They just want to give their love to someone. They really, really care about what you think about them. So this is something that if people might be like, oh, she's really sensitive. Well, don't look at them as they're just really sensitive. They're blue. Blue love emotion. So I think a lot of this has to do with, rather than us thinking of them as like objects, look at them as people, like what makes them unique, what makes them who they are. As someone who is very orange, blue, I'm like, oh, just get on with it. For me, especially with being gold, the joke is, if you've ever watched even like my most recent live videos, my husband even made the joke 2 Fridays ago. I said, what color is this? He goes, blue, but you wouldn't know. Because he makes the joke that I don't have any of this. I'm one that once you are in my network or my close circle of friends, you are there. It doesn't need to be cuddled. It doesn't need to be spoon-fed. It doesn't need to be reassured. For me, that's there. But for someone else, like, I mean, we'll make the joke about Gina. Gina and I were running on Saturday, and this was actually one of the jokes, or, we had said it as she, there are some people, and sorry for Gina for calling you out, there are some people that want to be recognized as, you did a really good job, or, this was amazing. You did this well, whatever it might be. Whereas me, I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. Or if I have an issue with someone, I say it, I go out there, and I'm done with it. I don't think twice about it. Whereas if someone who's blue, they need reassured that you're okay. With me with coming out of my gold, I don't need reassurance. I'm okay as long as if I'm going to tell you if I'm not okay. And it's even with coming from me as like your guys' coach. If something happens, don't be like, oh, is she mad at me? Oh, trust me, honey, I'm going to come to you and tell you if I'm upset with you. That's just my personality. Whereas a blue is going to sit there and fester and go, is she upset? Is she mad? So blues want to be those rescuers. Blues, they live to serve others. So that is a big, huge thing of a blue. Blues have those hearts that they're willing to do anything. They're passionate about causes. They're passionate about their beliefs, about their relationships, about their jobs. Blues are great people to get on your side because they will love you to no end. They will love you forever. They will completely throw themselves into anything and legitimately have a lot of care. They will have a lot of heart. They will put all their time and effort into that.
I gotta figure out my color.
So if you look on here, you can see what they are. They're very sympathetic. That's one thing that they're very empathetic. I will be the first to say, as it's one thing that I've been learning. I was talking to, I don't know if she's on here, but is Sarah Shalon on here? No. Okay. So like a couple weeks ago, Sarah Shalon and I were chatting, and she thought I'm going to call her out and just call her conversation out. She thought that I was upset with something she had done. And I had reached out to her and said, absolutely not. Do not worry about it. This, I would tell you. And we kind of got in this conversation of like me knowing that I'm an orange and knowing that she's a massive blue. I had to rethink the way how I interacted with her. We had a different conversation. So knowing, instead of me just going, oh my gosh, what, she is crazy. She thinks that I'm mad at her. I looked at it as a blue saying, okay, here we are. She is very emotional about this. She needs reassurance. She needs me. She's very passionate, but she also, she's all about the emotion. She's all about the caring. And so I was able to reach out to her and say, hey, even as a leader, I'm learning to have a little more compassion. I'm learning to be a little more empathetic, knowing that you might need a little more from me than I'm used to giving, because I'm not used to, I don't want to say holding hands, like hand holding, because I think I don't mean it disrespectful. I don't mean it in a mean way. I mean it as I'm used to just going, okay, do it and go. Move on and go. Whereas someone who's blue is going to need a little more of hand-holding, guiding, and guiding. Whereas an orange, I don't want any guiding. I want just you to say, go and do it. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm doing it. And I'm going to figure out my way. So knowing your lenses really is going to help you get along better with people, legitimately get along better with people and interact with people. And that's one thing that I loved about this, that I loved hearing Jordan talk about this, because Jordan is the number one person. I wish is Jamie or Kate on here? Did anyone see? Because they just
no, they're not
trainers. I was wondering if Jordan did it. Jordan is one. I've heard Art and Justin do it. I don't know if I've ever heard. I mean, I heard Jordan do it the other day, but I don't know if I've ever heard Jordan in person do it. But so these people are really caring. They're really personal. They want to get to know you. They're not superficial. They are more than just the surface. They legitimately are sincere in when they're asking. They're very romantic. They're very sensitive. Sensitive is a key word there, in my opinion, without a doubt, a key word there. So you can So you can see some more things. They need to feel unique. They don't want to be a number. Someone who is like a gold or a green, they're okay being a number as long as they are feeling a need, feeling that they are valued and that they are wanted, or not even wanted, but they are needed. The gold or the golds and greens really want to feel wanted, that they can make a difference, not for personal relationships, but doing something. Making a Google Drive, making a team page, doing a sign-up genius, whatever it might be, they're actually wanting to do something. Whereas a blue wants to feel like that they belong, that they're belonging in that group. Need opportunities to be creative. They nurture. They're hardcore nurturers. And I said that they look beyond the surface. They share their emotions. Very rarely do I show my emotions big time. Last night, if I kind of broke down to couple of the girls on the team because we were sharing our whys on our coaches group, or we had to find out like our true hardcore whys, and I was struggling. Like I was hardcore struggling, and so I don't get emotional very often, like break down, like cry type emotional. And I was like, if you see this Marco Polo, I wish I could show you this Marco Polo. I was like tearing up. I couldn't talk. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying, which is just not me. And so learning about all this, it really starts to get you to think about everything and your whys and bringing it all in. And that kind of goes to the last thing here is, why is it so important for you to know? Why did I choose to sit here for 30 minutes and talk to you guys about your color? Because as LuLaRoe retailers, you really need to know that it's just so important for you to know your color lens, because how you're going to react to maybe customers is going to be defined by your color. And the number one thing in LuLaRoe is customer service. So if you're dealing with a blue and you're green, here's an example up here, you might have to strategically think about how are you going to respond to a blue. You have to think of, okay, this lady's just not crazy. She's just really emotional. She's really, or, she just keeps talking. And I hear people all the time, yeah, I have that one customer who she comes over and talks for 3 hours and she won't leave. We all have that customer. I'm sure there's a few of us that have that same customer. And she will buy one thing and you're like, I just sat there for 3 hours talking to her and she bought one item. Are you kidding me? Well, guess what? She's a hardcore blue. She's as blue gets. But if you can recognize that, there are some things that you can do. It's like, hey, it's so good to see you. I only have about 30 minutes because I have, next person coming in, or I've got to go, or whatever it is, from the get-go. So you're telling her that, hey, my time is valuable, which not saying her time isn't, but hey, my time is valuable. And I'm devoting that 30 minutes to you, and you will have my full attention for 30 minutes. But after that, I got to go. So you're still fulfilling her blue. At the same time, you can fulfill your goals sticking to your schedule because you wanted to do X, Y, and Z at that point. Okay, so at that time. So you really, if knowing that why, or not knowing that why, knowing those colors will really help you as a retailer. But also, one of the quotations that you hear all the time, and I love it. So where it says up here, this company is all about customer service, making connections, and making a difference. And please remember this quotation. They don't buy, or you can say, people don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. If you don't have a personal a connection with these people, you are not going to be as successful as maybe the next person. And can you do 1,000,000,001 multis? Sure. Do I do multis? Yeah, I do a ton of them. But the ones that you make that personal connection with, they're the ones that are going to keep coming back to you. And you don't have to be the same color to make that personal connection. That one blue, even though you're gold, you might have as one of your most favorite customers, even though she wants to sit here for 3 hours, but you're giving her your full undivided attention for 30 minutes. And that might be all that she's looking for, is that full undivided attention, because the next consultant down the street sees her as a nuisance and sees her as this obstacle for selling. Because, it's the way you see yourself or the way you see people. Do you view people as an object? Do you view people as a vehicle to get what you want? Do you view them as irrelevant? Like, I don't care what, they're not going to help me. So they are who they are, whatever they are. I don't care. Or do you see them as like, they're an obstacle? Her being here for 3 hours just made me not be able to do something, or, made me lose time. Whereas instead, if you're looking at them as an individual, okay, they just want 30 minutes of undivided attention. And now because you did it, where the retailer down the street might have said, see ya, that she's going to come back to you first and foremost. And I've got a lot of customers that come to me first. I know they shop around. I shop around. At any given week, I'm getting 2 or 3 packages a week from 2 or 3 of you guys because I only buy from homies. It's just one of those things. It's something for you to look or something for you to think about. But I want you to read that little bottom thing down here. The reason that, yes, it's so advantage for you, or it's such an advantage for you guys to know your color within LuLaRoe, but it's also an advantage for you personally. And I'm all about personal growth on this journey because it's amazing how much LuLaRoe will change you, and it legitimately will change you. If you would have said 19 months ago that I would be leading a call and that there's 400 girls on a team and I'm sitting on our calls with Jordan Brady, Deanne's youngest son, that if I was doing that, I would have said, no way. I would have never been comfortable texting Jordan Brady 19 months ago saying, hey, what's this? But it's that one thing that when you start to get to know who you are, and LuLaRoe will teach you that. This is one advantage because it gives you a little insight about yourself, and the colors help that. But one thing I love, and this is where one of the other coaches on my group said this, it allows you the space to be okay with your quirks. So you are able to start to understand the way you are and the way others are. And it gives you the ability to be okay with who we are and embrace that we are enough for ourselves. So the whole be you, embrace who you are, love who you are, that you are enough. Knowing your color, I know it sounds kind of silly, but knowing your color helps you to be enough and to be okay with who you are and how you are in the business. And maybe that you are not this, crazy personal, you're not making, or you're, some people will be like, I love in-homes because I love the connection, where you're like, oh, I'm green. I don't like in-homes because that scares me. But, allowing you that's okay, that you're going to have you're going to have the good, you're going to have something huge that you're much better at than maybe the next person that's blue. So that really is, to me, more important than even your business, but to know that you are enough, and that even though you're a little different, and I know I'm a little crazy. People always say, she's a whack job, she's insane. But it's okay because I'm as flaming orange, and in business, I'm gold. And that's okay. That is a mixture of me, and you've got to be happy with kind of who you are. So that is when it comes to all the colors. Let me go. Let me see. Let me take you off. Stop share up here real quick. Did anyone have any questions? I know, I love that you guys put all those, I couldn't see all those things up there. Annie said she knew. Yeah, a lot of people, how many of you felt like you knew your color before even taking it, just by maybe looking at these pictures or whatnot? Because I wasn't sure. I see a couple hands up there. I really wasn't sure. Let me see. Avery, what was your question about the book series? And Leah, I'll tell you about the table too. You had the book series. Are you talking about this? Or did I completely, was that in the moment and it was something I said?
Yeah, it was divergent to the young adult series.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, I didn't see this coming up. Okay, so did everyone understand how to fill this out? Leah, you had the question. Okay, so what you were just doing was in that first step 1, you were going to look at either the pictures or the back. It didn't matter. So if you marked, so say in the pictures, you marked gold as most likely. In the gold box, you would have the number 4. If you said blue, that would be 3. And then green would be 2. And then I forget what's the last one. Yeah, what was that? Gold, what did I miss? Gold, and then gold, blue, yellow. And then yellow would be 1. So, and then the second one, so step 1, you could do pictures. Step 2, you would do the back. And then step 3 is next to all the A's. Count up all the A's. And then you're going to put the A next to there. So in mine, you can see I had 37 A's. So I put 37 A's there. So when I counted up all my A's, that came to 37. And then you're going to total it out. You going to bed? Okay. Then you're going to total it out up there. Okay. So hopefully for those of you, I tried writing that. Yeah, it didn't work out so hot. And I totally would have come live, but I was a hot mess when I posted that on Sunday. And I was like, yeah, we're not going live. There's just no way. Okay, so oh, Divergent. Oh, like the series. Yeah, okay, now I got it. Did we find out what it is if you're equal? Yes, Shannon, you're a Divergent. Yep, you're called a Divergent, so you're pretty much across the board. And if you are, that's the same thing as Amelia's husband, Justin. If you ever sit on any of the home office calls, he's like the one that talks a lot. That would be Justin, and he is a Divergent. I kind of call it the chameleon. You kind of like become whoever's around you. So if you have like these crazy free-spirited, a lot of times you kind of jump into that mentality. Or if you come into like a lot of facts, logical people, you become that factual, logical person yourself. Okay, so are there any questions about the color scheme? And I do challenge each of you to reach up to your sponsor and reach up to your trainer, reach up to your coach, and let them know what you are, because honestly, it really helps to know who your team is, and even go ask your sponsor. If you don't know your sponsor, ask your sponsor, hey, what are you? Because that's one thing I'll say, it's helped me as a sponsor to know my girls, because then I know also if someone's struggling, I know that I can ask that person for help. If that person is looking for help, they want to help me. If I am, he keeps saying peace to you guys. You're so funny. If I have a green, that I'll be like, okay, you go look for this. Or if I have a gold, I'm gonna say, okay, you help me set up this. And so it really allows you to kind of like branch off into pick up on what they're on your team's strengths. And if you're if like you love to help out, do not do that. You're a squirrel moment. Every time you walk by me, you are like squirrel. Yeah, do you hear squirrel? So it's really nice and beneficial for you and the people you interact with. And also, if you have a spouse, ask your spouse. Figure out your spouses. I don't know if I would have said my husband was green. Like I get it, but I think of him so much more as blue, just because he's like my caretaker. Poor man will come in and like give me food when I'm like, if I've been in my office all day, I'm like, thank you. Like he's straight my shoes. I know, poor man. Oh, good night, my love bug. Oh, my daughter's like hanging off my husband. Oh, I'm home with you tomorrow. But so yeah. So again, sorry, total squirrel moment there. But also one thing is please, 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 when it comes to colors, please do not let your color hinder you. It's one thing that a lot of people say, well, I'm orange, I can't read that. Or I am gold, I can't do it, I need rules. Or, you know what, I'm totally not blue, I can't get on that emotional level. Try to figure out ways around that, so then you're not giving yourself an excuse, because legitimately, that's your excuse. Well, you know what, I'm a hardcore green, and I'm straight green and gold, and I don't have any blue in me, and I don't have any orange in me, and how am I going to do it in home? That's just so out of my comfort zone. And one thing that home office always says, and they always say, is tackle the frogs first thing in the morning. Do the worst things in the morning, so you don't have time all day to dwell on it. If you need to make calls, if you if you're doing a pop-up, ask the person, hey, can we do it early? Can we do it Saturday morning? Pop-ups are fantastic at like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. You'd be surprised how many people like to get it done with and out of the way. Does it always work? No. Depends also on the season. Because like spring sports and stuff like that tend to be tough. But if you're staying home, hey, let's do a morning out. Do you know how many moms love to get out of the house at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, especially if you have like early birds like my kids who are up at 9 a.m. Up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. Yeah, at 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go. So getting out of the house at 10 o'clock, doing that right away. So you're not doing that right away. So you are not having to think about it all day long. So it's, again, we give ourselves excuses of why we can't do something. And a lot of it has to do with because it's out of my comfort zone or my color or whatever it might be. So hopefully if you do know your color and you're aware of it, that can help you get out of that norm of, oh, I can't do it, or I'm this way because of this. I'm flaming orange so then I'm going to be a squirrel moment. Well, no, I don't have to be a squirrel moment my entire life. Lock myself in a room and focus just on one thing. Take it down off all, it takes me 1,000 hours to do something because I'm ADD and I start looking around. Well, close everything out. Turn your phone off. Turn your phone into airplane mode so you're not getting all those notifications, or you're doing shipping and you turn off Facebook, because you don't need to be looking on Facebook while you are trying to shop or while you're trying to ship. It's just, it's just something of that sort. So, but that's all I have. Look at Avery. I had a 10 a.m. pop-up, sold 53 items. Yep. Yep. And good, Sarah. Honestly, have Mark do it. Have your husbands and your boyfriends do it. It's amazing what you will you'll learn about them. You kind of start to learn their quirks and why they are the way they are, and you're like, oh yeah, I totally get it right now. Totally get it. Okay. So any questions? Okie dokie. So let me. I just ended it for everyone. Hold
Will
on.
you post this so that we can share it?
Yes, I'm actually trying to.
I have one person on here.